What's going on, guys? So in front of me, you are looking at a product that you're probably not a stranger to if you watch my channel, and that is Reolink camera equipment. Now, I am a huge fan of Reolink cameras. The fact is, we have probably 12 of them on our property. We have them everywhere. I have one right there. I have one right there. I have one way back there. I have one way over there. I have one right here, and I have 7 more of them spread out throughout the property. That said, there's still a lot of areas that we're not covering, and what's nice about these cameras is the fact that they have a solar panel that charges an internal battery, so even if the solar panel gets destroyed, the internal battery is going to last weeks on its own independent charge. And the cool thing about this camera specifically is that it's actually covered by a bunch of trees, and that solar panel still maintains that camera at 100% charge, which is actually incredible. All the other cameras are spread out throughout the property, and again, solar powered, charging an internal battery. I have LTE SIM cards inside of the cameras, so I don't even need to worry about the internet going down at the cabin because each one of the cameras has its own connection, and I view it all in real time. Really cool. And again, the cool thing about these cameras is I can access them all from my phone. They all have motion detection, and that is that specific camera right there. Another camera, so I have a gate camera here as well, which is my front RV access gate. I actually have 3 cameras that view that. And I even have one back there on the pool. So yeah, we have cameras all over the property, but there are areas that I still want to add additional camera views as well, because when you have a property this large, you want to be able to secure it. You want to be able to know when people arrive, if you have wild animals in the back. And the last thing we want to do is have our small daughter encounter a javelina or something in the backyard. So having surveillance around our property is really great. And the fact that Reolink produces a system that requires no external power. You don't need to run any power cables. You don't need to do any of that. It's solar charged, onboard battery, 4G LTE to be able to broadcast it to you. You can put these cameras anywhere you get sunlight, and not even a ton of sunlight, but anywhere you have sunlight and anywhere you get connectivity. So very, very cool. But let me show you what we have for you today. Okay, so real quickly, from a quality perspective, this is one area that I am super, super impressed with Reolink products because they just hold up really well to the conditions that are out here. We've had absolutely no cameras fail. I've had one camera that had the antenna kind of break a little bit during a windstorm, but other than that, they just last. They're really, really robust cameras, especially considering it's a pan and tilting camera. So there's a motor in there that allows me to turn the camera, allows me to pan it down and up, and gives me all sorts of capabilities to move the camera around remotely. And again, they just last. They hold up really, really well. That said, the big difference between the new cameras I have and these existing cameras, these are the Go Pan Tilt, and these have the 4G SIM card inside of them, but these use a 2K 4 megapixel sensor, which is actually still pretty dang clear. But the new ones are a little better than that. These are the new Reolink Go PT, which stands for Pan Tilt Ultra. And the Ultra is going to give you a 4K 8 megapixel sensor. So the camera on this one's going to have significantly higher resolution than the previous model. And you can see it has a bunch of really big and pronounced light emitters here for viewing at night. The other thing that's a difference is that this one actually has color night vision. So it's going to be really interesting to see how well that performs. Just a great feature. Overall, though, super excited to get these installed. Let's go ahead and get them unboxed. Okay, once you tear the box open, you're going to have the instructions right here. You'll also have it here for the solar panel. That's going to be your solar panel. Let's get this one open first. You have your antenna. You have your little foam padding. These things are actually very well packaged. A little plastic cradle to hold the camera in. So there's a lot of similar type products that exist on the market, but I can honestly tell you I've had 0 issues with Reolink cameras. They just work, and they work in extremely hot, wet conditions. These things just last. They last very well. Again, not one camera I've had has failed, which is pretty dang awesome, and I have a lot of them. So this isn't kind of one of those things where you go on Amazon, you buy one camera, and you're like, I hope it lasts, because, you know, I don't have any more of them to really test to see how well multiple cameras last. In my specific use case, we have 12 of these things, and they just all last. They've all done phenomenal. The batteries maintain, and I can actually show you that in real time. Give me a second here so I can open up my Reolink app again, and I'm just going to randomly pick a camera. Okay. So this is one of the cameras we have here in the back. This takes a look at the little pond on the side. I'm going to select the top here, and you can see battery 100%. I can go to the camera itself. I can pan tilt it around if I'd like to. If I put the screen sideways, it's going to make it much bigger. But I can rotate my camera around in real time, which is really, really nice. And I can switch between high and low resolution. So if I don't want to use as much data, if I don't really care about the detail of the video, I have the ability to adjust that to make it stream a little bit smoother. Very cool. All right, so we have the camera unboxed. So we have the camera out. Let's pull the solar panel out. My only gripe about this product at all, and it's not even a gripe, but they give you a lot of cable for your solar. And I almost wish that they would have a different type of connection where you can have a shorter cable. Because what I typically do is I mount the solar panel directly above the camera. I think it offers a little protection to the camera, and I end up having to bundle up this huge bundle of cable and just kind of tuck it away. It'd be cool if they maybe had a plug where you could get like a 8-inch, a 20-inch, and then something like this in case you don't want so much cable slack. But again, not a huge deal. In the case of the camera up here, I actually ran the cable over to the solar panel, which is right there on the side, and this worked out really well to have that extra slack. So again, it just depends on the application where you're putting it. Of course, putting a solar panel underneath the soffit probably wouldn't have worked out very well, so running it to the edge like that has worked out really well for me. Okay, so when you flip the camera around, you'll see you have a spot for your micro SD card, which comes with it, and it's a 32 gigabyte micro SD card. And to pop that card out, you pop it out just like anything else. You just stick your fingernail into that slot, and the card will pop out like this. And this is for onboard storage. There you go. Took me a second. I had to grab a little tool to pull it out. But there's the Reolink 32 gigabyte card. Pretty cool that they have their own branded cards. I'll pop that back in there. And then the SIM card slot is directly above it. So you can see that little slot right there, and that's for your SIM card to be inserted. It works really, really well on T-Mobile. That's what I've been using it on. Absolutely have had no issues. My T-Mobile service out here is phenomenal, and it even uses their 4G service, so I'm not even trying to connect to their 5G service because this uses an LTE modem inside of it. Here's my T-Mobile SIM card, and that is simply going to slide into the top spot right here. Like that. I'm going to close the little seal up. And that's all it takes to install your SIM card. Power button's on the back. Went ahead and turned it on. It does have power. We're going to see if we can get this thing paired to our app. Okay, it is on. I hear it and I see the light flashing on the front. I'm going to let it go through its little startup sequence here real quick. Okay, while I was scanning it, it actually said network connection succeeded, which means the camera found the connectivity. It's ready to go. I have my phone over here. It's asking me to create a password to the actual camera. Then we just name the camera. It's just giving you a few little steps here. I can see that it's connected on 4G LTE. The battery's about half charged. Go and select the camera. There we go. Camera is connected. It's looking at the side of the box right here. All we have to do is get this thing installed, get the solar panel plugged into it, and we're good to go. And the cool thing about this is I can move it around really wherever I want and not have to worry about having power ran to it because, again, it's powered off with solar and it charges the internal battery. Let's find a place to install this one. Okay, one of the first cameras that I actually installed, and that's just a solar light if you're wondering, is a camera that's right there. You can probably see it. It's camouflaged. But it gets a static view of who's coming down the driveway. And that's a cool setup. I like it. It's actually connected via Wi-Fi, but I want to put another camera here on this post because as I pull in and I pull out, sometimes I want to see what's going on and I want to see who's approaching this area. So I'm going to actually mount one of the cameras right here. Now, I just noticed that Reolink actually did an upgrade to their camera mounting system. Before, you had this piece right here, which essentially mounts to the post, like that. And then you would simply take the camera body and you'd have to screw it on to the screw right here. But they've changed it now. So they have this peg that sticks out, which actually goes into the top of the camera, like this. And then you use this Allen key to tighten it on. That is a far superior way of doing this, because the way I did it in the past made you kind of figure out how you could get the antenna put up, and it was a little bit inconvenient. But that's super cool that they've evolved that design, and they've made it a lot easier to position this the way that it should be positioned, so you get the full pan tilt capability without accidentally having this set the wrong way or at the wrong angle, so it doesn't work right. So very, very cool. Simply going to tighten that down. I'm going to put the mount in place first, and then I'll tighten that at the end. So I got the mount in place, camera on it. I'm simply going to put my antenna on now. Let's see. There we go. Next thing up, I'm going to mount the solar panel. It's just 3 screws, so this is really simple. Okay, so I have it fully installed. Solar panel on top, camera on bottom. The wire ran to it, and I have the wire tucked in back there. You plug the wire right into the back of the camera. The solar panel should get some really, really good contact with the sun as well. So I think we're in good shape. Let's see how it looks on the screen. Drum roll. Should be looking right at the bed of my truck. There we are. Check that out. If I turn it sideways, I can see more. I can move the camera around. Right now it's set for low. If I set this thing for clear, it's probably going to be really, really clear. Oh yeah. Very, very cool. I love these things. I really do. They work so well, and quite frankly, again, when you have a product that has never failed you, and these things have been out in some really crazy weather for quite some time now, and they've just been performing really good. Got to give them a huge thumbs up. They sent me their newest model here, and just to be fair and honest about this, they've sent me 4 cameras. I've purchased 8 cameras. So I buy products that I trust. I've been able to test these because they've sent them to me. And actually, I've bought in their cameras before I even collaborated with them. So, you know, this is one of those things where I trust the product. And, you know, when they come out with a new one and they say, hey, we'd love you to test it out, this is a great environment to test it out in as well, because it's not the most hospitable environment for them. You know, we get really crazy weather out here. Just went through a windstorm. Not one camera went down. So again, can't speak highly enough about Reolink. Their product is absolutely phenomenal. I love it. I'll put a link in the description if this is something you're interested in. Anyways, guys, I sure hope you enjoyed this video. Cicadas are out in full force. We're going to wrap this one up. Guys, if you haven't had a chance, please take a moment, subscribe to the channel, give me a thumbs up, and we'll talk to you again real soon.